Success isn't overnight. It's when every day you get a little closer than the day before. It all adds up. Dwayne Johnson. My friends, The Rock is exactly correct. Each and every day getting a little bit better. 10 to 15 minutes, that is all we ask. Let's jump into it. Stocks are mixed. S&P down a little bit. The NASDAQ 100 really flat. I mean, it's up 0.01%. We see 20-year bonds up 0.8%, gold up 0.32%, and Bitcoin down 0.33%. Let's look at what the weekly charts are telling us, and we'll look at how this weekly trend line plays out on the 2-day and the half-day charts. Now, we look at where we are this week. We have completely broken through that prior trend line. Last week, we had a doji and we had high volume. That tells us something's going on with the insiders. High volume should typically connotate a decent size candle to go with it. Well, that's not what we had last week. And of course, you see the market trying to find price. Well, it rolls over finding down price. A little bit above average volume this week. Red down candle. What does that typically portend? Down movement coming, even more of it. We shall see as we move into the next week. How many of you took positions going down today? We typically like to do that on a Friday when we see the week setting up. And that is exactly what we see going on here. So I just want to encourage you again to do as much practice trading as you possibly can, because the more you do, the better you're going to get at it. So we see things rolling over. Like I said, the S&P down 0.22%. We have 3 down candles. Again, the latest 2-day candle finished drawing today. Look at all that volume. Look at the half day with all that volume when things really started to spike down yesterday, Thursday, and today, Friday. So we will be watching, waiting to see the market potentially move down more this next week. Now, it can slow down in its descent, but inexorably will we see it move down. That's what we'll be looking for. What do we see on the Qs? Well, the Qs, not as strong a down move yet as the NASDAQ 100, not as long lasting. 2 down candles, 4 days of down move. Look at all that volume. And again, just below average volume here on the weekly candle. So again, not as strong as the rotation over the high volume on that Heikin-Ashi candlestick and the higher volume than the NASDAQ 100 on the S&P. But again, we see lots of down movement. Again, like I said, 0.01% up for the day, pretty much flat. We'll see how this next week starts. What about bonds? Bonds kicking it up a little bit, 0.8% yesterday. Big down day, 2+% if I recall. And of course, look at the volume for the week. Look at that really high volume. We saw volume start like that on the initial down move where we garnered 2.45% in the matter of 2 weeks. That was very nice. We'll see how this continues to move on down with that high volume. Again, maybe bonds are getting ready. They've blown through where we were before. If you look, the low that we had on the week, the 21st of August, before things kicked up for a week, was 92.23. This week went well below that, 90.67. So again, good to see bonds continuing going in a direction. Again, we don't like directionless. We like things to move in a direction. We want to see things trending because that's what we do. We trend follow on the weekly chart. We can see on the weekly trend line, prices well below the weekly trend line on the 2-day chart with all that volume, and the same on the half day. Let's go to gold. Gold kicking it up a little bit, 0.32%. See green candle here in the morning on Friday after a big down day yesterday. For the week, look at this indecision. Can't tell you what gold is going to do. It has been sliding sideways now for 4 weeks. So waiting for gold to figure out what it's going to do. Don't have anything on that yet. Of course, if we see things start off with another green candle going up, particularly spiking up on Monday, give us some hope things might go up, but it could just as easily go down. Let's talk about Bitcoin. Down for the day, 0.33%, 1.5 days, a sort of down movement. But again, rather lackluster the last few days. We saw things move up for 6 days, and then sort of in the week, we have pushed through that weekly trend line. Now, I know some of you went ahead, pulled the trigger on an up move, hoping that we would see things parallel, because we have seen that happen with Bitcoin, have we not? When we see a green up candle, no movement on the bottom. Again, we only have this one spinning top on that week, so it would be out of character with what Bitcoin has done this year for it not to continue up. Is it going to do that? I don't know. We don't have volume telling us much here. There's not a lot of help. We didn't have really high volume when we had this past doji. So again, we'll keep our eye on things. If we do have a pattern from what Bitcoin has done when it has moved up since the beginning of the year, shoots up for a few weeks and then just sort of dies and rolls over to shoot up again. Now, we did see things sort of sink down to about where it bottomed out before, back on the week beginning the 12th of June. So maybe Bitcoin is moving back up. I would love to find a pattern that works, and that's possible. That could be one, but don't have a lot of faith in that. That is where we are as we end the week. So appreciate all of you. Please make sure to subscribe at our YouTube channel. Please make sure to like, and of course, share this with your friends if they're interested in learning how the markets work. We're here every day sharing our knowledge with you. Lots of great trainings. If you do sign up at chartingwealth.com for our daily email, you do get a training with each and every one of those emails. And our training actually going out this weekend is about how winning is all about cutting losses. We teach that in using what we call our profit and loss bands, this little widget right here to either set up your short or long position. And of course, how do we limit our losses? Well, one time ATR on the 2-day chart. And of course, that's how we sell the first half of our trade, of our practice trade, in order to grab a profit and then let the second half of that ride until it zeroes out. Or, of course, when you get a run like this beauty right here, and it just goes and goes, 12% right there. Absolutely gorgeous. That's what it's all about, is learning how to cut losses and let your profits run. And that is exactly what we teach. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.